Attribute number 8 is one that's a little bit left field. A lot of pickup artists, a lot of guys in general don't really think of it because it's such an abstract concept that is opposite to what most people would think. For example, we think that making a good impression on others, overall in general, we're not speaking on dating, seduction, romance, mating, anything, just making a good impression on others. We think that by displaying our best qualities, our strengths, the things that we're world class at, that this is what will endear people to us. This is what will connect with people. This is what will allow them to say, I want to work with that person, or I want to be with this person. I want to be around this person. Right? So you, me included, we all play to our strengths when in terms of other people. Right? We don't go telling them where we're faulty, where we need work, where we could use some help in specific areas of our lives. We want to display confidence and competence. We want to display the best of ourselves. And to an extent, this makes sense. This is true, right? It works the way that we think it does, right? Our best traits, our best attributes can endear people to us in terms of them wanting to break bread with us, so to speak. But it can also work the opposite way. Playing too much to our strengths can alienate people from us, especially if we've done things, seen things that are way outside of the norm, that are way beyond what most other people have done, seen, experienced. Right? For example, a boxing world champion, long reigning, defending, trying to make themselves relatable to the average person is a far cry, right? It's very hard to do because very few people relate to huge success at that level. It's something that people can't even fathom, right? A lot of people can't even fathom paying their bills on time and walking the dog on time, let alone winning a world title and making all this money, right? It's too far out of their reality. What is relatable is failures. What is relatable is flaws. What is relatable are times that you thought you were on top of the world and you got humbled. Times where things were going good and all of a sudden they dipped into a ditch. Times where it was so hard you could barely keep your head up. You could barely keep your sanity, your wits about you. That is much more relatable than most successes because a lot of people have experienced that. They can tap into and feel that feeling that you have. They can get in that zone, that mental space, that headspace, and go there. Be like, yes, I've felt that before. I know how that felt. So I'm there with you. So to preface, failure, places where we let down, places that need improvement, are much more relatable than successes. Quality number 8, Attribute number 8 is being vulnerable. It's also called being vulnerable, displaying costly signals. Now, the explanation that I was giving already dives into what costly signals are and what being vulnerable is. Being vulnerable is not about being a huge emotional sponge, right? Telling all your problems and crying and woe is me. It's about displaying that even though you have flaws, you're still a man who is wanted by many, many women. You're a man still in demand, despite these places that you let down. And so a good example in nature, which Swingcat also mentioned in the book, is the peacock, right? So the peacock has big, beautiful, huge, colorful feathers. They look good, but it's easy for them to stand out to predators. And it makes it hard for them to run because it's a lot of feathers. So you would think, what is the point of even having them? But there's a message in it, way hidden beneath the surface. The peacock is communicating, male to female, that even though I have all this disadvantage, I'm still alive, I'm still healthy, and I'm still ready to mate. Even though they have this, how many pounds of feathers weighing them down, they still are the right choice. We could look at this in terms of modern days, right? This guy just popped into my head. This guy, Pete Davidson, right? Seen with tons of beautiful women. Quite the ladies' man. Word has gotten around. I think he has some chronic disease where, I don't know the name of it, but he has some chronic disease that they can't get rid of that affects him. And he was living with his mother until not that long before he blew up and got popular as a writer, right? And there's a bunch of other things. He supposedly has really bad anxiety or something like that, right? But despite all of that,
I'm winning anyway.
he still gets tons of beautiful women. Because part and parcel of his message in terms of his package is, even though I got this stuff, which is not good, I'm still the guy for the job. Still. And so that's what this is, right? That's what being vulnerable, displaying costly signals is about. It's about displaying, even though I don't have it all figured out, even though I got this crack in the armor and this chink in the armor and I'm still the guy. I'm still the one, right? And having that confidence. Also, you have to know how to correctly communicate this. That is important, right? But that's the essence of it. Because communicating that, instead of walking around trying to portray the air that you have it all covered, you know you don't have it all covered. You let that note be known. And you know that you're still the right guy for her. Plain simple, period. So it's an interesting one. It's kind of a brain teaser, right? It's a mental twist. A little bit of gymnastics to thinking about it. But it's very, very powerful. Extremely powerful. And we'll discuss other ways to do exactly that in future episodes.